Everyone, I am Priyanka Gullane and today we will be looking into the topic monolithic kernel. Before getting into the topic, first we'll look into the what is kernel, what are the various types of kernel, and then we'll move to monolithic kernel. First we'll look into what is kernel. Kernel is a computer program that manages the input and output requests from the software and translate the request into the CPU instruction or other electronic instruction for the computer. So we can simply call it as kernel is an interface between the software and hardware. Kernel is a central part of operating system that directly controls the computer hardware. Kernel is the first software which user get installed in his computer directly after the BIOS. Kernel plays the major roles in a Windows and Linux operating system. So, one of the software makes the request to the CPU. It is called as a system call. Depending on the kernel, CPU handles these calls directly. Again, if we look into the scheduling, suppose there are many processes running simultaneously. Then the kernel is the one who decides how they get executed using some scheduling algorithms. So helps the inter-process communication if one of the application process and system process communicates via kernel. Different types of kernel. First is a monolithic kernel, and second is a microkernel. The third one is a hybrid kernel, and the fourth one is a exokernel. So we'll look into what is a monolithic kernel. In monolithic kernel, entire operating system is placed in a kernel place. That makes the kernel very huge. As whatever is placed in a operating system, it gets runs in a privileges mode. So the monolithic kernel runs both the application and the drivers in a kernel place only. It is monolithic kernel. In monolithic kernel, entire operating system is placed in a kernel place. That makes the kernel very huge. As whatever is present in operating system, it placed in a kernel place, so it gets runs in a privilege mode. Monolithic kernel runs both the applications and drivers in a kernel mode only. The word monolithic by itself means a single piece, that is of or like some lithic. However, when applied to kernel, exact meaning is more general. Monolithic architecture is a setup used for the traditional server-side system. So, the entire system is based on single application. It is the operating system software framework that holds all the privileges to access the input and output devices along with the memory, network interrupt and the CPU stacks. Monolithic kernel are able to dynamically load and unload and execute the modules at runtime. Performance of such operating system will be very high because all the services are placed inside the kernel only. So the access time will be less. But if any one of the service get failed, entire system will get crash. So this is a very big disadvantage of the monolithic kernel. What is the advantage of monolithic kernel? Advantage, it is a faster due to the small source and compile code size. It is a less code, means less bugs and security issues and less security issues. What are the various advantages and disadvantages of the monolithic kernel? The advantages is it is a faster due to the small source and compilation code size. Second one is it has less bug because it contains a very less amount of code and there is a very less number of security issues also. And if you look into the disadvantages, it's being a single big piles of code has the very big disadvantage. Making changes into such big piles is not easy and testing makes more time. Bug fixing or adding a new feature is very difficult in such operating system. It requires the compilation of the whole source code, which is time and resource consuming process. Thank you for listening.